video is on example 3 from lesson 17 in the grade 7 module 3 book. It can be found on page 105. So in this one, Suzanne is making a circular table out of a square piece of wood. The radius of the circle that she is cutting is 3 feet. How much waste will she have for this project? Meaning how much extra wood will be left over from that square shape after she cuts the circle out. They want us to express our answer in the nearest square foot. So let's draw a diagram to help us solve this problem. Our diagram, well, first we're going to talk about this square piece of wood. So let's see, I'm just going to draw the best square I can. Again, just a sketch, doesn't have to be perfect. So it's a square, so we know every side is equal. Now, from that square piece of wood, she's going to be cutting a circle out of it. Now, the circle that she's cutting out of it needs to be 3 feet. So the circle that she's cutting, let's see, I'll do my best to put a circle inside this thing. There we go, not a perfect circle, but kind of gives us a visual. There we go. Kind of redid my circle. It's still pretty ugly, but we know it's supposed to be a circle. Again, just a sketch. Doesn't have to be perfect. Now, the radius of the circle she is cutting is 3 feet. So the distance from the center of the circle to the edge needs to be 3 feet. There we go. So we drew our diagram. Now we just want to answer the question, what does the distance of 3 feet represent in this problem? We'll just say the radius of the circle is 3 feet. There we go. So then it says, what information is needed to solve this problem? So remember, the problem they're asking us to solve is to answer how much waste will she have for this project? How much wood will be left over after she cuts the circle out? So the amount of wood is the space. The space is the area. So we need some area in here. The problem is that this isn't just some straightforward question where it's like, oh, find the area of a square or find the area of a circle. We have to actually use both of those. We're going to need to find the area of how much wood is left over. So that's represented by these regions right here. Because if we're cutting a circle out of this thing, cutting a circle out of this square piece of wood, those pieces will be left over that I just kind of scribbled in red there. So the information we'll need is the area of the square piece of wood and the area of the circle to be cut out. The reason we're finding those two areas is because if I can find out how much area I'm removing from the area of the square, I'll be able to find out how much area is left over. Again, those red pieces left over. So down here it says, what information do we need to determine the area of the square in the circle? Well, the area of a square, let's talk about that first. For the square, area equals length times width. But remember, in a square, all sides are equal. So only one side needs to be known. And then for the circle, area equals pi times r to the second power, where r is the radius. So only the radius needs to be known. And then it asks down here, how will we determine the waist? So that means the part left over, the parts left over here from cutting that circle out. Well, if you look at it, again, like I explained, if we find the area of the square, so the original space we had, and then we're cutting a space out, which means we're taking that circular space, that circular area away, well, the remaining area is the waist, the parts that are left over. So down here, how will we determine the waist? Just first write down the waist is the area left over from the square after cutting the circle out. So the area of the square minus the area of the circle will equal the area of the waist. We'll just say the leftovers. So, does your solution answer the problem as stated? Let's find out. So to find that out, let's first do the area of the square. So the area of the square is A equals, and again, it's length times width. So area of the square is length times width. It's the same as area of a rectangle. So area of a square, and what is the length or the width? Remember, the length and the width of a square are the same. So we want to find out, okay, what is one of these sides? If I find out one of these sides, we find out all four of the sides because it's a square. Well, I know that from this square piece of wood, we have to cut a circle that has a radius of 3 feet. And that's from the center to the edge of the circle. And that edge of the circle is the edge of the square. We know that that is 3 feet. So based on from here to here, this is 3 feet. Well, it goes the same for the other way. From here over to the other edge, over to here, would also be 3 feet. So that gives us a total side length of 6 feet. So the total side length of the square is 6 feet. So we'll put that the length is 6 feet for the length multiplied by, well, the width is the same length because it's a square. So it'll be 6 multiplied by 6. So the area equals 36 square feet, or feet squared. Okay, so there we go. So we're going to have 36 feet squared minus, and now we have to find the area of the circle. So the area of the circle, well, we know the area of the circle is found by doing pi multiplied by the radius to the second power. So in this case, we're going to do pi multiplied by 3 feet. 3 feet is the radius. Okay, if we keep going, let's see, area will equal 28.26 feet squared. And the reason I stopped at 28.6 feet squared is because it says up here, express your answer to the nearest square foot. So we're kind of rounding here. I'm using 3.14 for pi. So we're going to do 28.26 feet squared equals, and we just have to do our subtraction. Our subtraction will be 7.74 feet squared. So does it answer the problem as stated? We'll say yes. The waist area is 7.74 feet squared. And again, that is all of this area left over is equal to 7.74 feet squared.